Welcome, everybody, to the Highly Illogical podcast. I am your host, Tim Reese, and these are my co-hosts, Trevor Shelby and Buddha. I don't actually know your last name, do I?
Kennedy.
Oh, wait, I do know your last name. It's said every time on the podcast. Wow, I've got a terrible memory. And this is why it should never be my turn to host the show.
Very cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, let's edit that
out. No, nothing gets edited.
Anyways, all right, so anybody got some news, some updates, some things they want to talk about?
I actually had something before we get started today. I want to get your guys' honest opinion. My wife does not agree with me on this. I just want to know what you guys think. Now, I'm going to take my headphones off for just a second, so I won't be able to hear you. But I'm going to show you guys the back of my hair, because it's got kind of a little ducktail thing going on. I have COVID hair, by the way. So,
so it's a bit ducktaily.
Yeah.
Okay. So, a little ducktail thing going on. This is kind of flippy dippy. I'm all for just going full mullet. My wife, however,
that's because you're an OSU fan.
My wife, however, was like, "That's a terrible idea." And I think with the power of our show, I can bring the mullet back. Right?
No.
Come on, guys. You guys don't.
Just because you're a Gundy fan and an OSU fan does not mean you can rock a mullet.
I will find a new show, sir.
All right, well, I guess I feel a little voted out. I wonder what the fans have to say about the mullet situation, though. I might try to Photoshop me in a mullet or something.
Let's get some feedback. I wanna know what kind of fans.
Yeah. So if you guys are watching, post in the chat over probably that way or down or up. What you think I should do?
Yeah.
Shave your head.
No, I've done that before. It doesn't look great on me.
Yeah. Post what you think he should do and why you think it should be not grow a horrible mullet.
All right. Anybody else got anything?
Yeah, right. Buddha.
Well,
anything?
Tomorrow, I am going to go see. Well, tomorrow's Saturday. Whenever this comes out, it'll be today, I guess. I'm going to go see Raiders at the drive-in.
Very cool.
Yeah. Considering I was like, I don't know, 5 when it came out, and remember seeing it in theaters. So, yeah.
Raiders of the Lost Ark. Not my favorite Indiana Jones movie.
But it started it all.
I know it started it all. And Tim looks like he's in deep thought. But I'm just
either that or he's frozen again.
I think he's frozen.
Beep.
While you're doing that, I do want to say that I really like the fact I love podcasts, and I really love the fact that they have that fast forward button. It's like 30 seconds you can skip forward. 30 you can like go through the ads real quick, and then you can hit like 15 seconds back. So you can kind of like, if you go too far, you can just boop 15 seconds back. Probably be about it.
There's a way to actually change the speed in which you're listening to the podcast as well on some of them, so you can make your podcast host sound like a chipmunk.
Well, that'd be really interesting.
I don't think I'd sound good as a chipmunk.
I don't think so either. And I don't know the purpose of it. I mean, I was told that if somebody's listening to a podcast, they want to get through it pretty quick. But
let's mess with their heads by talking really slow.
Oh, no, wait. Never mind. I went backwards. I went the wrong way.
Hello.
Speed up.
So, anyways.
My bit of news is I don't know if I'm sure you guys have seen this on Facebook, but the Star Trek cartoons coming out soon. Is it the Lower Decks or whatever?
Yeah.
I think it looks amazing. I watched a review on it or whatever, and the guy was not happy. He's like, "This is just gonna be the worst piece of crap." But I'm like, "Look really funny to me."
Yeah. No, it looks
Damn
good.
naysayer.
Is that?
I mean, I saw.
It's
I
a
saw one
CBS
today.
original, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
CBS All Access. But one of the trailers I saw today is one of the characters like, I must be James Tiberius Kirk. Oh wait a minute, I'm not in the 2060 or whatever it was, 2160. I was like, holy shit, that's hilarious. Sort of. Anyway,
I like it.
It looks good.
I
It
like
looks good. I've seen a few little bits and that's about it. I'm
Yeah.
all for it.
We should have a watch party on that.
Yeah,
Maybe one of these days.
we should.
we should
All right.
watch it all in one show.
I have good ideas. I like it.
All right. Well,
Hold on. Pat myself on the back there.
there we go. I got you.
Aw, thanks, buddy.
You're patting his head. You're not patting his back. Oh, he froze again.
Oh no.
There you go.
Well,
There he is.
We got you back.
Oh, did I? No,
Oh,
wait.
thank
I'm
goodness.
back. Okay, we're good.
Okay.
And I'm back. All right.
Back to the
go
Indiana
ahead.
Jones talk.
Yeah, what did I miss on that? Did I miss anything good?
Nothing good. We were
Nothing
talking about
good.
the
It
Crystal
was-
Skull, so you missed
Yeah.
nothing.
Oh, no. I was going to say I like them all a whole lot except for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we've all
I don't
and
know-
we've
I
kind
don't
of
know
come to the agreement that Last Crusade was the best, then Temple of Doom, then Raiders.
I think
And
it's
we
my
don't-
age. I don't know if it's
I
my
would
age.
switch
It's just what I
around
grew up with.
Temple of
I like
Doom,
those.
but
Yeah.
Where
I
would you
mean, those
put
two
Temple
could be
of Doom?
flipped for me, but I like them both.
I mean, any except for Crystal Skull, you know. I mean,
Yeah. That's not
I'm
a part
guys-
of the series. That's just something that a madman made.
like I said, you guys can
We're back on it,
believe
though.
that it doesn't exist, but I actually went and saw it in the theater, and we are back on that.
Yeah, they're fast forwarding again.
all right. You knew how you feel about oh crap, I forgot his name. The Joker.
Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger, thank you. That's the way I feel about Shia LaBeouf, or however
Yeah.
the hell you say that dude's name.
Well, yeah,
This dude makes my skin crawl.
he tries to be a method actor, but he's not.
When he was a little kid, he was like okay in Disney films or whatever, but that was about it. Like he needed to hang up the coat after that.
So was Amanda Bynes.
The movie Holes was amazing.
Yeah, Holes,
Oh, yeah,
fine.
that
That's
was a
it.
sad story.
But anyways, let's move on.
Okay.
Okay.
You guys ready for my first segment?
Double
All right.
thumbs up.
All right, here we go. I'm going to start us off. Make sure you take notes, and yeah, let's have fun with this, guys. All right.
Let's explain what we're doing first.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, what I posed to the fellas here is that we find a scene in either a movie or a TV show in which a starship captain or a captain of a ship that is traveling through space blunders up somehow in any way, and we explain the situation and then pose it to the other two to captain the situation better, which is why the segment is called Captain That Better. Does that sound about right? Does that sound good?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Cool.
Sounds
All
good.
right. All right, here's mine.
Beep. Beep.
All right, so I'm going to try this one more time.
Okay.
And like I said,
Okay.
not picking any low-hanging fruit. With
Go
Janeway.
ahead. Go ahead. Let's not waste any time.
Let's go.
Okay. Mine is going to be on Star Trek Enterprise, Season 1, Episode 4, Unexpected. The crew encounter a ship that is siphoning off their exhaust and disrupting their electronics due to the alien ship having damage to its engine. Captain Archer sends the chief engineer, after only a brief introduction between the two ships, over to the alien ship to assist with repairs. Whilst on the alien ship trip, the chief engineer begins to bond with their engineer, and that's when some freaky deaky alien stuff starts to go down. She introduces Trip to a holodeck, something that has never been witnessed by an Earthling up to this point in time. The alien vixen then has Trip play a game with her, wink wink nudge nudge, in which they both stick their hands into a bowl of pebbles and exchange thoughts and, spoiler alert, DNA. When Trip arrives back on the starship, Enterprise, he notices a strange lump on his wrist, which turns out to be a nipple. And the reason Trip has grown this carpus mammary is because he got knocked up. The question I pose to you, my cohorts, is there a better way to have gone about the situation in which the captain does not get his chief engineer date raped and knocked up by a sexy, sexy lizard lady?
I've seen this episode.
I have too. I vaguely
By the
remember
way,
it.
that is my first time ever trying to watch that particular Star Trek, and
Yeah.
the intro song alone made me never want to watch it again. That is by far the worst intro song to any probably any show.
But that series actually answers your question from last week about replicators, because the first instance of replicators was on season 3 of Enterprise.
Well,
Indeed.
okay. So I think there's not much the captain could do at that point, because you're aiding another ship. You're going to send your chief engineer over. You're going to send somebody that, knows what they're doing at least. So, I mean, if it's not the chief engineer, it's some Joe Schmo, that's waiting in the wings to get date raped by the alien. I think what the next real course of action is contacting Interplanetary Department of Human Services and getting child support, because he's in for some gold press lithium or whatever the fuck it's called. Platinum. And I tell you, he's gonna get it monthly. He's gonna get it, he might have to do a DNA test, but turns out he's that, bitch. So you know what? I like it.
Now, see, what Archer should have done. This is first contact. They've never encountered this before, and the species before. And I think that Archer should have just sent him over in a full body condom, just to make sure, because they don't know what kind of sexual breeding grounds they may encounter. They could touch someone and get them pregnant, which obviously they did. I mean, they stuck it. The mating ritual happened in this jar of goo. I mean, basically he just took the other thing's jizz and just, oh God, basically. But yeah, send them over in a full body condom. I mean, they have them, right? They should.
Imagine the Naked Gun movie where he's got the giant condom. Yeah. That's the first thing that came to mind. Don't practice safe sex.
I like all of those. Although the DNA test wouldn't work, because apparently she transferred all of her DNA over to him.
Well, that's even more proof than hers.
And his wasn't shared. Well, okay. Never mind. My argument fell flat. And it wasn't actually a bad episode. I will say that it was entertaining. In fact, when he first went over to the ship, their oxygen or whatever that's in their ship is something that Earthlings are not used to. Yeah. So as he detoxes or whatever, or not detoxes, but he becomes higher than a giraffe's testicles, and he's all loopy and trying to talk to the captain. But I
like it.
And I like your guys' assessment of the thing.
Trip was one of my favorite characters from that show. So
yeah.
Well, what would you do, Tim?
Oh, I don't know. I feel like maybe I would talk to the people a little bit longer, get to know them a little bit better, make sure that they're not just trying to get freaky deaky.
Oh. So that crystal skull. Okay. Was it an actual crystal skull?
Technical difficulties. Technical difficulties.
Oh yeah, I was just saying that I felt like he should have
You'd
at least talked.
Wait some time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe went over there on the second date. You know?
Exactly. Sussed out if there were some freaky, date rapey kind of aliens before I just sent my dude over there.
I don't know. Depending on what stage in my life this would be in, I might have went either way.
Well, now, all right, putting myself at risk of getting some freaky deaky lizard lady booty, that's one thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then my crewman's over there.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
I didn't think it from the captain's point of view. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, Tom
So-
wants to go next.
I may have misread, misunderstood
You're fine, you're
what
fine.
we did. No, I understand. But okay, so mine
Mhm.
is a scene from Spaceballs, a very famous scene from Spaceballs, where our captain is trying to capture Princess Vesper, but her car is intercepted by a flying Winnebago.
Mm-hmm.
They're firing at the Winnebago, and the gunner misses because he's cross-eyed and can't see shit. And then the Winnebago goes into hyperactive, which is like their hyperspeed. And in response to this, Dark Helmet orders them to go to Plaid. He orders them to stop instantly, sending him flying into the projector, giving him a concussion, which ultimately is why Dark Helmet lost in the movie. Because if he hadn't, he wouldn't have taken everything. So he wouldn't have combed the desert.
That was a good scene.
He wouldn't have come.
Man, we ain't found shit.
He wouldn't have come into his arch nemesis yogurt with strawberries, and he would have, captured Princess Vesper. So how would you have done it differently to where he would have gotten Princess Vesper without Lone Star, being in the way?
Right. Trevor, do you want to take this one first, or?
I'm trying to think. With Lone Star, I'm trying to remember exactly how it went. How did Lone Star end up with her? I forget.
They docked with her ship, and Barf went up and grabbed her and the robot.
Now she was running from
She was running
From the Spaceballs.
yeah. Well, she was running from her wedding, wasn't she?
She was running from.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Prince Valiant.
So this is what I would do. I would have ensured that she wouldn't have ran from her wedding by making sure that I would send like secret agents in to make their idea of a marriage better, right? That I'd make the little nuances to make them fall in love, because I know in my head I'm gonna capture her on her wedding day, and but I need her at this certain spot, right? So I would send spies, my little spies in, and they would infiltrate. Now I don't know how effective the spies would be, since I think they were all idiots. So
Well, they were all assholes.
That's what it was. They were all assholes. So there were
Major
so many,
asshole.
yeah,
private asshole.
they were all assholes.
Surrounded by assholes.
So I don't know how effective it would be. They might throw a little suspicion, but that would be my take on it.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
So I think mine would be a bit more of a direct approach, in that I would completely forego the kidnapping of the princess and just have a whack at guessing the password to opening up their little biodome thing, because I'm sure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would have at least been my second, if not my first guess.
Short but sweet, yeah. And make sure there's no ability to switch Mega Maid from suck to blow.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. You've skipped everything. Lone Star never even comes in. He's somewhere else out in the galaxy,
Yeah.
and
Dealing with
Yeah.
Pizza
doesn't have
the
to
Hut.
deal with a Druish princess. Yeah. Oh, and Pizza the Hut will end up living, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think either way, he gets eaten by that little guy next to him.
Oh,
But,
It's just too delicious.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
It would have been a much shorter movie, but
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I guess it's my turn. So, this was actually a little difficult for me. I don't know if you guys know this, but I tend to overthink things a little bit. So what I did was I thought, well, if I'm going to have to watch a show, I better watch my favorite show. So I watched Star Trek Voyager. And it's funny because I got through season 1. I've been watching it recently. So I got through season 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And you know what I found was she didn't mess up once through that whole series. So I couldn't really use it for this whole thing. She didn't mess up once. Perfect captain. I don't know. Kind of weird. Anyway, so then I went with our Star Trek The Next Generation.
She got her freaking ship lost.
First episode, I hit gold.
Sir, touche.
Then I went, that's low-hanging fruit. I won't do that. That's low-hanging fruit. So I went to episode 2 of Star Trek The Next Generation. Again, some mistakes happened, but I didn't want to go. That's too easy. So I got all the way to like episode 4, and I gave up, guys, because every episode there was some major mistakes. So
You just beat that poor donkey to death.
I know.
So yeah, Star Trek The Next Generation episode, I believe it's episode 4, and it's the first edition where we get to see the Ferengi. And so this is where the Ferengi first are found. And so imagine in your mind's eye, would you, that you are a starship captain and you're flying through space and you happen upon a Ferengi ship. You've never made first contact, and so let's run them down. So, and you know how we love those people on the highway that like ride your ass and won't get off? And there's plenty of room. There's no one in the other lane. You go around. You're like waving, go around. Well, Picard thinks that if you ride their butt, it tells you, they're gonna stop or something, and you can say hey to them. Well, and I'm not sure if that's really first contact protocol, by the way. So anyways, the Ferengi stop because they're like, what the hell, dude? They're like, like that dude, like this, just like he's like, where's that billy club? I'm gonna hit him. And so they stop. They're turning around, and they're like, the whole time Picard and Riker are like, whoa. So like that's a cool ship. So. And then they start getting attacked, but it ends up it's the planet that's attacking them if they're nearby. But it's they're all stuck in the same situation because their ship were like 3 feet apart. So my question is, okay, so how are you going to captain this better? Because you're trying to make first contact, and you're doing it crazy.
First, this isn't first contact.
It is first contact. They mentioned that in the episode. And I forgot to mention one more thing. Whenever they got stuck, both ships are disabled. They cannot do anything to each other. The first thing Picard says is, Data, tell me about the Ferengi. Because he didn't have any clue anything about them. So he tells them some very basic things.
The Picard maneuver was against the Ferengi ship.
I'm just telling you, this is first contact. And
Now, wait, are you saying chronologically it's first contact for the Federation?
For the Federation to go face to face with the Ferengi.
No, that can't be true because in Enterprise they meet the Ferengi.
This is they talk about first contact has not been made in this episode.
But the Picard maneuver,
is it not canon?
The Picard maneuver happens with Ferengi.
They might have that's not contact. That's not contact. Having a fight in space is not contact.
Anyway.
Yeah, my stepdad is explaining the same thing to me right now.
Yeah. So, how would you captain this better?
Well, first off, in that episode, they were always constantly stroking their lobes, right? So what I would do is I would send Troy over and give them all lobe, and that would calm them down, make them feel better, and they like naked women anyway, and that's part of being, being a beta zet is beta zet women are like to be nude. So, all they have to do is send Troy over nude and give them lobe.
So you're going to pimp out your counselor.
Well, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Tim.
I'm sorry. I've still got this visual thing going on in my head that might have me taking a bathroom break here in a second.
God.
Okay, so you're saying that his idea to get in contact with this strange race in a strange ship in front of them was to ride their ass until they stopped and...
That's the whole episode. That's how it starts.
I'm going to have to watch this
them.
episode. And I have to have seen it because I've seen all of them.
Yeah, it's like episode 4.
For life of me, remember that one.
They get trapped in a 2-dimensional life force.
Yeah,
So,
well, the planet that's down, the planet has like some kind of life force that's from a previous civilization that's long gone. It's disabled their ships and thinks that they're primitive species, basically. And that really has nothing to do. I mean, if they weren't riding their ass, they wouldn't be in the first place. I mean, honestly, if I were to captain this a little bit better, I would first say, "Hey, there's a Ferengi ship. Data, why don't you tell me about them Ferengi?" and then he would say all the little weird things he said about them liking commerce, and that's about all we know. And then we would say, well, their technology is known to be as bad as technological as ours, because that's mentioned in the episode. So I wouldn't think you would go like this, touching tips.
Tip to tip again.
Yeah. And chase them down. But, I guess he's just trying to make first contact, trying to say, hey, we like you, Ferengi. We're cool too. But,
okay,
maybe
so
Picard's a little awkward. I don't know.
What Picard should have done was make up a nice little gift basket, put a note in it saying, hey, you want to be friends? Check yes or no. And then just beam it over to their ship and, sit back and wait. Not be so in their face, he shouldn't be so...
I do have to say the Ferengi are my favorite alien species in Star Trek. And especially this version of them. Quark on Deep Space Nine is kind of far removed from this. These are the Ferengi that are like, it's a who-man.
I liked Quark.
Man, and they're like almost chimp-like. They're like, kind of doing the whole old Star Trek kind of style of alien. And I enjoyed it. It was just really comical. I was like, I'm going to rip this to shreds.
Well, in Jean-Luc Picard's defense, it's the only bad thing you could have found, so
come
might as well rip it to shreds.
Oh.
I mean, I can't believe of all the bad things that Janeway did, You couldn't
Dude, I
find
went through
one
every
bad thing.
episode. I couldn't believe it. In less than a week, I've watched every episode. I haven't even slept, guys. I haven't even slept.
I will say that I am thankful that she at least captained her hair better eventually instead of sticking with the pilgrim hairstyle that she rocked for a while.
At least she had hair.
Whoa!
Oh, parry, thrust. Very well done.
Whoa!
This
What? I was
verbal
just saying.
fencing we got going on here is getting intense.
I know a couple other captains that happen to be Star Trekking at the same time that might have not had it. I don't know. So.
Hey, Cisco's was by choice. I mean, he had hair in the first season.
I kid. So, okay.
Were you gonna
Oh,
give
I'm
your
done.
2 cents on?
Oh, my 2 cents is basically I would have, I don't know, asked Data about them, maybe figured out that, you know, these species, we don't know much about them. They're technologically more advanced. I don't know. I would probably do something where they would come to me. First thing that comes to mind is fireworks. Everybody stops and looks at fireworks. So I'd shoot off space fireworks, right? I'd shoot them off everywhere, like the 4th of July, like a whole thing. I would blast it out there. Like if you tune into this radio station, maybe you can kind of see it's all popping to the music, you know?
Mhm.
The Frankie would probably dig that. They're big ears. They're probably like, whoa, this music's cool. And they would probably think we're pretty neat. And then first contact would happen. It would work.
My first contact would actually be, you know, a firework of a different nature, a photon torpedo.
Oh, see, then you just start war, which is against first contact. I looked up the rules, and that is starting the war is not first contact. That is last contact or something. I don't know. I just made that up, but
All right, so you fellas ready to talk about your pick for your favorite inventor in cinema,
yes.
whether it be TV show or movie?
I'll let Trevor go first on that one.
Really?
Yeah, I'll let you go first.
Okay. Well, let's sit right back and let's hear a tale of a fateful ship.
I was going to say, wait.
On this tropic port aboard this tiny ship. I picked the professor from Gilligan's Island. And I'm going to tell you what, he was MacGyver before there was MacGyver. This man took coconuts and made a radio. He could make all this stuff, and it was that stupid Gilligan that kept messing everything up. So if they just didn't have Gilligan, they would have probably been rescued pretty quickly. But they were stuck, you know, with Gilligan. They're not going to murder him like I would have probably done. But said it was an accident. A coconut fell on his head. You know, a lot of people die from that as well. So, believable. Anyways.
Well, you know.
That's my pick. I don't know if you guys know, I watched all of the Gilligan's Island's TV shows. I've probably gone through the series about 5 times since I was a kid. Loved it. It was on in the morning, like 2 hours before school, and I just sit there and watch it. I just loved Gilligan's Island, and the movies. It's a great show.
Wait, there was a movie?
Yeah, there
they
are
got
3 movies.
Yeah, there's several. I also had, when I was a kid, my parents bought me the Gilligan's Island Handbook, which was a big, thick, like thing of all the scripts for every episode. And
I
so
don't understand
read
how
all
like
that.
Harlem Globetrotters got on the island and stuff like that, and they couldn't get off the freaking island.
They would all like wreck in a ship, and then somehow they would get rescued, and then they would never say anything that they were with these castaways. But it tells you something about the Globetrotters. But you know, whatever. So
I would say that's a good choice. I like that. The professor was pretty awesome and very handy with basically nothing on a tropical island.
Well, yeah. So mine comes from the from a very cult classic. It's a mixture of Weird Science and Animal House.
Mm-hmm.
My inventors are Mr. Chris Knight and Mitch Taylor from Real Genius.
Ah, nice. I love it.
These two inventors invent a laser that their maniacal professor decides to use as a weapon and steals it from him.
Well, to sell to
But
the
all they
government,
want-
the government uses
well,
as a weapon.
I don't care. The professor, their professor stole the damn thing and gave it to them.
Oh, sorry, I
I mean,
interrupted.
all they wanted was a nice little popcorn popper.
Right.
This laser to pop popcorn. So, they said, "Oh, the professor stole it. Why don't we just reprogram it? We find the laser. We won't, take it back because as soon as they use it, it'll destroy itself anyway. So why don't we just pop some popcorn with it?" So they made some Jiffy Pop in the professor's new house.
There you go.
I mean, in the process, they blew up the house, but who cares? They made a laser that made popcorn.
He kind of had it coming too. I mean,
Well, yeah, true.
Damn. I mean, that's Val Kilmer's at least second best role ever.
At least, yeah.
Damn. I didn't know you guys were going to be this good at it. And I even put mine, I tried to hide mine within the list of ideas to give you guys.
yeah.
But I don't feel like mine's all that good anymore.
What is yours?
All right, mine happens to be a playful little tyke who's not so good with the English, who goes on an adventure with his little buddies to try and save their hometown from being destroyed by a maniacal bank. And, they end up running into a new fun friend with a funky face and even worse speech impediment. So my vote goes to Data from the Goonies, who has some of just the wackiest inventions, but when they work, they are quite handy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feet,
Yeah.
slick shoes, stuff like that. That's
Short
all
round.
good stuff. Short round. Mr. Jones! Oh, wait, wrong movie.
Yeah.
That's
It's the Princess of Power. It's the Princess of Power. I love that movie.
Yeah, the Goonies is great. They never say die in the movie too.
Right?
They
Yeah.
no, I that movie's probably one of my favorite ones to watch with the kiddos.
Mhm. Now, all right. So if we were to pit our inventors up against each other, I would say personally, I would have to put my vote for Buddha because his inventors are. Well, I don't know. I guess the professor would probably also be college educated, but he was educated in a different time.
Yeah. I don't think I don't think if they're trying to murder each other as you're saying, and
Or maybe make death robots and fight
death
the robots.
death robots to kill each other because they're inside the robots and they're gonna die.
If the professor was any good, if the professor
His
was
robots
any
would
good,
be made out of coconuts and
Yeah,
sticks.
coconuts. They'd fire coconuts. Coconut cream pie.
Sorry, Buddha, go ahead.
Yeah, now that does.
Yeah, I think Buddha wins that one. I really do. I don't see the professor or the Goonies pulling that off.
Well, unless the professor knew how to make a laser out of coconuts and coconut cream pie.
I feel like Data's invention, Death Robot, would probably be made mostly out of trash cans and stuff you'd find in a junkyard, and he'd probably end up killing himself.
He would try to shoot oil out and make the
Slip
other
on
robots
it.
to slip, but like a death laser would hit the oil and it would be this big fire. It'd be awful.
Yeah.
It'd be awful.
Both the professor and Chris Knight would just step back and watch him slide by and
Yeah.
off into his own death.
Oh, it's great. I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it.
Yeah,
Great.
that actually went better than I was expecting it to go. I was hoping it was going to go good, but that was fun. That was awesome.
Well, you should have heard some of the conversation. Trevor and I were like, "Are we doing this right?"
Yeah.
Because Trevor's like, I wrote
sure.
a whole skit. I'm like, you wrote a whole skit about
Well,
your
that was
stuff?
my whole Voyager thing I was going to talk about. That's my whole thing.
Well, I liked your intro to it though, singing the Gilligan Island song. Although I feel like you could have threw us for a nice little loop, sang the Gilligan's Island song, and been like, "My inventor is the dad from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids."
Yeah. I seriously thought that one for a while too.
No. But that was awesome. And I actually kind of wanted a little bit of ambiguity. That's the word I was looking for. I wanted a little bit of ambiguity, so you guys could,
right?
I don't know, kind of work on your feet when it all came about. All right, you guys ready for the last bit?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do this. Our last bit is going to be just basically everybody kind of saying a favorite cult classic sci-fi movie. Explain why you like it, and hopefully this will interest our listeners in that maybe it's something they hadn't heard about and something they'd want to check out. So really talk up your spiel or your choice, and let's end it here. Or after that, we'll wrap up and call it a podcast episode. Yeah, nice.
Oh yeah.
All right, Buddha. I feel like you haven't gotten to go first on any of these, so you want to take the floor, bud?
Yeah, I'll take it. So mine it isn't necessarily a cult classic that people know, except for like maybe my circle of friends here in Owasso. It's a great movie from Asylum Productions, directed by C. Thomas Howell. Now, Asylum Productions is they're a B-movie conglomerate. They make a bunch of B movies that sound like big name movies. They make movies that sound like. This movie is called The Day the Earth Stopped. So, people get confused and they're thinking they're going to get the day the Earth stood still, and they get the day the Earth stopped. So the day the Earth stopped, the core has gone cold, and the Earth quite literally stopped moving.
Mm-hmm.
And they have to jumpstart it, basically, with a nuclear reaction. Without killing everyone. It's a great movie. And
Is it like, what's the, was it made recently?
It was made in the, 2010-ish.
Okay.
They made a whole bunch, Asylum made a whole bunch of movies, like Transmorphers.
I think I know what you're talking about.
They did
Is this
Atlantic
on Netflix?
Rim. They've had it on Netflix, yes.
Okay. I think I've seen it on Netflix, and I've always been like, I want to watch this, but I never have.
They've got Transmorphers. They've got Atlantic Rim, which is like Pacific Rim,
I love it.
They did Titanic 2.
Wait, there was a Titanic too? How does that work? And please tell me there's a haunting in it.
She did let go.
It was god awful. Okay, it was god awful. I couldn't even finish it.
How do you do a sequel to a historical event?
Because what it was, what it is about it's about a ship called the Titanic 2.
Okay.
And I don't know how they don't get struck by an iceberg. They get stuck in like the Arctic Ocean, which
that makes sense.
I fell asleep, and
Great testament to this
like
movie.
30 minutes into it, I fell asleep, and next thing I know, they're on the on ice, and I'm like, what the hell happened? So, but that's for
great.
Titanic too. But
Love it. Love it.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I will definitely have to check those out.
Yeah, they made a lot of movies, and most of them have C. Thomas Howell in them.
Okay.
Yeah. You wonder where
Yeah.
C. Thomas Howell's career went? It went to Asylum Films.
Right on.
That's great.
Heck yeah. I think you sold me. You want me to go or do you want to go? Which one?
It doesn't matter.
Wait, no. All right, you go. Go ahead.
Okay. So I picked Laser Team, which is one of the internet's first crowd-funded movies that was fully funded by, other people. It was produced and written and everything by Rooster Teeth Productions, which big near and dear to my heart. Been watching all of their content since before even YouTube existed. It's about, and what's really cool about this movie is it's almost everyone in it is a Rooster Teeth employee. So none of them are professional actors, but they do an excellent job in this film. What the movie is about is, okay, so the government has been preparing for an alien invasion, and this other alien species is sending Earth a super suit of armor, basically, think of Mega Man. And that's going to be the key to defeating the incoming alien race that's going to murder us, basically. So the United States government, years before this movie even takes place, what they've done is they selected a child that was like genetically like superior, and they, like, every day of his life he was training, and so this kid grew up to be the Earth's champion. And when the beginning of the movie is they are this group of individuals are setting off fireworks in a field, and as this suit of armor is rocketing in on some kind of spaceship, they shoot off a giant firework that hits the spaceship. It crash lands by them, and they each touch a piece of the armor before the government gets to it, and it's now DNA on them. And they're just like everyday Joe Schmoes and not prepared to be Earth's champion. And so it's freaking hilarious. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Rooster Teeth and when the stuff that they did, like Red versus Blue and all that. But they're known for like all these like one-liner kind of zinger, like very quotable stuff. And they've got it throughout the film. I was dying. My wife was very much, I rewatched it just because I was like, I wanted to really kind of like freshly talk about this. And my wife was really good. She'd never seen it. She was kind of against it. And then she watched the opening and she was like in it. She loved the movie. They have a Laser Team 2 now as well. They've got more professional actors in this one. And a lot of the guys, since Rooster Teeth has gotten so big, a lot of the people that are from Rooster Teeth are now kind of more professional actors. And that movie is a little more, to me, it's a little more kind of fine-tuned, I would say. But anyways, both movies are great. I definitely recommend checking them out. It's available at Rooster Teeth if you go to their website, and you can actually sign up for a first membership for free for 1 week, and you can watch both of the movies there. Or you can go to YouTube and subscribe to their service, which is like, it used to be YouTube Red, I think, but now it's like YouTube whatever. I don't know. It's whatever their like pro package is, or whatever you would call it. Their YouTube, their Netflix type package. So definitely recommend it. It's a great show. Or it's a great movie.
Heck yeah. Yeah, I watched that the preview that you had
Yeah.
posted about it, and it looks freaking hilarious.
Yeah, it's great.
So I am 100% going to check it out.
Yeah, we should do like a watch party or something, some point, or just get together and drink some beers and watch it. It's great.
Sure, you can steal my ideas and
Yeah.
call them your own, like you came up with
Well,
that.
you said that.
your own
You
or
said
something.
that. That's weird. Anyway,
Yeah, he said it like an hour ago.
Did he? Hey, but what I'll do is I'll cook some barbecue, and I got this whole system where I cook a pineapple in it. Oh, it's so good. I came up with it. So
Okay,
No.
I'll eat that minus anything with pineapple in it.
yeah, well, it drips down, but then you eat the pineapple.
Smoked
So
pineapple
good.
is amazing.
Yeah, you'd love it. I thought Tom about it. So let's move on.
Okay. All right. Well, my movie is a Steve Wang director. The director of my movie is Steve Wang, and it's The Guyver. It has Mark Hamill in it, Jimmy Walker from Good Times. I believe his famous quote from that was "Dynamite." I believe something like that. I could be wrong. I've never actually watched Good Times. And then the other big name actor in it, or at least known to me, is the bald guy from the original Hills Have Eyes. He has alopecia, where the body doesn't grow any hair or anything like that. It is an amazing movie with just some fantastically bad acting on par with Bruce Campbell. Right. In which the main character, our protagonist, finds a alien device that is kind of like the movie that Trevor described. It's a genetic armor, essentially. And when our protagonist is getting beat up in one of the scenes, the device falls out of his backpack and he is kicked face first into the device, which then lodges itself into his forehead and turns him into the ultimate fighting machine, the Guyver. This movie features some amazing makeup artwork and creature design, as all the bad guys are humanoid creatures that start out looking like humans and can morph into these creatures, which are trying to get the Guyver back because it is the ultimate weapon. And it is just an action-packed, hilarious movie. Jimmy Walker's character in it is constantly doing just some of the worst rapping ever known to man that it just makes it that much more golden. I highly recommend the movie. And if you have not seen it, yeah, highly recommend it. And yeah, it's probably one of my favorite B-rated sci-fi movies out there.
I have seen that movie, and I have to agree with you. It's a great movie. I just haven't seen it since. And it was on actually Netflix for a long time. I don't know if it still is or not. So,
I've never seen it.
I think the animated cartoon thingy is on there still, or at least it was the last time I checked. But
I'm
I
gonna
don't
have
think
to
the movie
definitely
is.
check it out.
I concur.
yes,
You should.
you should.
We should do a watch party.
Damn it! Beat me to it.
I should make smoked pineapple.
There you go.
Yeah, see?
Like I taught you. All right.
All right, I'll bring over and contribute by cooking edible food.
There you go.
I'll probably bring beer.
Same difference.
Well, that's all I got, guys. If there's anything else you would like to add, feel free.
I'm not an adder.
I'm
You're not
I'm
not an adder.
No, just a subtractor.
Oh, buddy.
You've multiplied a
yourself
few
short.
times.
I've multiplied a few times.
At least twice.
If you're gonna
Which,
play
you
my
know,
life,
got me
I'm
beat.
gonna divide. So.
All right, on. So I guess is it up to me to wrap up as well since I started it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
why
All
not?
right, cool. All right, well, thank you guys for watching. We hope to have you back here next week when I guess Trevor will take his turn at hosting the show. And if you guys like it, please like, subscribe, tell your friends. You can find us. Subliminal messaging, apparently. That's not really subliminal, is it? That's just right in your face.
It's right in your face.
You can find us on Instagram at Buddha. Go ahead and give that one.
Highly Illogical.
All right, and you can find.
Highly Illogical Pod is what it's called.
Yeah. You can find us. Wait, all right. Are we on Twitter?
Twitter under Logical Pod. Illogical Pod.
Illogical Pod on Twitter, and then we're also on Facebook at Highly Illogical
Pod.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
See, you should have messaged me with all this.
Yeah.
I don't have a good memory.
You're fine.
Anyways, and again, thank you for watching, and see you next time.
See ya.
Later.
Boy. Love it.
Really, Mickey Mouse?
You did last week too.
Oh, yeah, I didn't hear
I think I do it every time.
I think you have.